I'm not upset about this one. This is okay. I don't know how I feel about this. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Road Tripping with Rachel. So, it's baking day. That's where we're at. We're actually just a couple days past St. Lucia Day, which I think by now you would have seen my video about going to the St. Lucia ceremony. So much fun. Oh my goodness, it was just so much fun. So I wanted to go on ahead and try my hand at making the traditional bread that is served on St. Lucia Day. So St. Lucia Day is actually December 13th because then you have 12 days until Christmas. However, we're a couple days late, mainly because I ended up kind of getting sick this week. And you did not want me cooking at all that day. I didn't want to be cooking at all that day. In fact, I'm pretty sure I ran through all of the things that could make me think that I might have had the flu. Except I slept a whole lot that day and woke up the next morning. I was like, hello world, I am ready to go. That, and I drank like 2 cups of coffee with a lot of sugar and cream in them. So we're going to get started. I've already done a lot of the prep work for this, but I want to give you all just a quick look-see at what we are dealing with. I am getting this recipe out of the Martha Day Complete Baking Cookbook. I've shared that cookbook before. It's great. I've had it since I was 13. I'll try and remember to make sure that I actually link it because it is still available on Amazon. I think the last time I linked it, I actually did the hardcover. I actually have a paperback cover. It's really thick, so it's got like 400 plus recipes in it. I haven't made them all. I've made several of them though. The hardback was actually cheaper than the paperback was. I think it might have actually been spiral bound, and those are expensive for not being bound. They're expensive, really expensive. So I'll do the one that's cheapest for you. So with our ingredients ready to go. So this is 3.5 cups, 3.5 cups all-purpose flour plus a 1/2 cup of almond flour. This is 1/2 cup of milk with a pinch of saffron threads in it. This is 1/2 cup of lukewarm water with 6 tablespoons of sugar in it. I know that's a lot of sugar, plus yeast. And then this is a whole stick of butter that I have softened, but we're only going to end up using 1/2 of a stick. And then we are going to be putting in some almond extract. So let's go on ahead and grab the book and keep on going. With the all-purpose flour, I have also added in some salt to it as well, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I have let the milk with the saffron threads in it, it has actually set for the last 15 minutes. So that way everything is all like nice and great and beautiful. Okay, so we are going to combine the yeast mixture with my milk mixture, and then we are going to add in some of the almond extract. I need, it says a few drops. You know, I always grew up hearing that cooking, like baking, was supposed to be like an exact science, which is the opposite of cooking. However, there are several recipes that my family has made over the years, and even some that I find like in this cookbook, where it kind of leaves it up to what's a few to interpretation. So I've always found that kind of interesting. I just accept it, and most of these things, like you cook it a couple times, you find what you really like, and you get used to the consistency, and then you just know what it is. I put in 5. I decided that was enough because I happen to really like almond. So, oh, it smells really good. So, for the record, I had never cooked with saffron up until very recently. I actually made a risotto, which was a first experience for me last week, for my sister and brother-in-law who came over for dinner. It's pretty good if I do say so myself. But it was, I put saffron in the risotto, which was the first time I had ever done that. made risotto or use saffron. And let me just tell you, saffron is expensive, man. You get this itty bitty like container, and then they're like, yes, that will be, you know, your firstborn child. No, not really. It was like $20. But I'm like, for a spice that you only get a few things of, that's a lot. Which, granted, I know why it's that expensive. It is that expensive because of like what it takes to actually like get the saffron, because it comes from like the innards of a flower. So like, I totally understand why it costs as much as it costs. That's not something you can use a machine in order to make. Like, you can go through and you can probably use a machine to like pick pepper and like to grind the pepper and things like that. You can't do that with saffron, and I know that. I just like to complain because I'm a tightwad. So that's really what this comes down to. So I've gone on ahead. I've added everything into the bowl. Let me go on ahead and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's starting to come together here. I'm going to go on ahead and keep on mixing it. And then I will need to knead it for about 5 minutes before I cover it with a bit of plastic wrap. And then I'm going to let it rise in a warm place for about an hour. And then you will join me again as we begin to shape them. I think shaping them is the most fun. Because I never totally got over being able to play with Play-Doh. I'm also going to go on ahead and I'm going to incorporate half this stick of butter, and that will go in too, and that will also help it to start to clump together. So I will see y'all in about an hour. It's been just over an hour. I had the dough rising, and I was taking care of a few other things while that was happening. But I have gone on ahead, I've punched the bread down, and I have divided it into 12 balls, because that is what it told me to do. And direction-wise, I can now put them into all different types of shapes. So I ended up with exactly what it told me, because that's the magic of measuring. And I should be able to get 12 rolls out of this. Now I'm going to start by making 3 of the designs that it has that would be fairly traditional. And so I don't know if anyone remembers, but you remember how you used to make a snake with your Play-Doh? That's basically what you do. I have tried to make these before, and I have made these with like my mother's pizza dough recipe, which is basically like a very, very basic dough recipe, but we've used it for pizza dough. We've made breadsticks with it. We've done pretzels with it, you know, and all you do is you change the shape, and then like with the pretzels, of course, you boil them with some baking soda first before you bake them. But like, we've done things like that, and it's like it's great, like it's a wonderful catch-all, but that does not always necessarily mean that it works when you're supposed to get a very specific like product out of it. So we are going to so it kind of quit filming on me while I was finishing speaking. So I went on ahead and I tried to do the 3 shapes. That's what they ended up looking like. I'm not upset about this one. This is okay. I don't know how I feel about this. I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make some pretty looking rolls. Like I would a hot roll, because they should still taste good, and we will just move on, and that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we're going to do, because frankly, I'm lazy. There's also that too. We'll just be honest about it. And besides, if these turn out well, then that means I will have when I need to take some photos, and then I can post them on my Instagram showing what I did. And I'm baking cookies later this weekend too, because we have a very nice man who lives in North Carolina who has volunteered his time to help us with something at work. And so I oversee the undergraduate office, and then my counterpart who oversees the online and graduate department we both agreed that he deserves treats. So I'm baking cookies and she made fudge. And so we're going to be sending some gifts to him here this week. So I already told her, I said, this weekend, I said, I'm baking cookies. I am making cookies. So I will also be delivering some of the cookies later. I think y'all have already seen my video on decorating cookies. So we're going to take the cheater's way out for me. And that is going to involve me putting some milk on the cookies and then sprinkling them with sprinkles. That's what we're going to do. That's my secret. We just didn't decorate cookies when I like with icing and stuff like that. I've always wanted to learn how to use like royal icing, but so that's what we are going to do. So super easy. It's so much easier when all you do is re-roll them in the balls. Okay, these have got to rise now for another 30 minutes. I'm just going to use the same plastic wrap that I used previously and get these covered so they can sit in a warm place. And then I'm going to get some of these dishes done so I have some room in my sink. See you here later. Ooh, they got all poofy and pretty. Oh, let's take a look at them. Please look at and admire how lovely these came out. I think I probably should have tried to do some of the cute shapes, but you know what? I am not upset about this. I think that this is lovely. I feel sort of brilliant because they turned out right. So I'm actually planning on bringing these into work tomorrow to celebrate St. Lucia Day, which was on December 13th. But you know what? I think they're great. I might even take a couple photos of these in my shop box. That was my newest investment in Rachel's online presence. So, I think these are wonderful. We might try them later. Well, we're most definitely going to try them because I'm not taking anything to work that I cannot stand to eat. So, I'm probably not going to do that on camera though because it's starting to get later, and although these did not take very long, the dough rose for an hour once I mixed it. Then they did a second rise for half an hour, and then they were only in the oven for 15 minutes on 400 degrees. So they're actually not very long to cook. So I will make sure I relink my cookbook or my baking book with this video in case you want to get a copy of one yourself. I hope that you try making these rolls and that you are having a very Merry Christmas and holiday. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like and subscribe. That really helps out my channel and it helps get some of this content out to other people who might also enjoy it. So it was great hanging out with you this Vlogmas Day 17. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Bye.